Welcome to Move Mondays. My name is G. I am your host.
And I am Jasmine Davis.
She's also your host. And today we're going to talk about
the pros and cons of sex with an ex.
So, this is a random topic, literally.
But I thought it was important. We were both discussing why there's pros and cons with sex with an ex.
Yeah.
And about this then. I'm picking his brain right now. What's touchy about this?
Touchy is making people exes. It's what we touched on, but we didn't get into.
Well, let's get into it.
Because,
making people exes. Why? Why is it touchy? Why is it touchy? I know.
It's always touchy but then you go back. So you ask yourself, what was the purpose?
What was the purpose of breaking up, or what was the purpose of going back?
What was the purpose of breaking up? What was the purpose of even having sex again?
That's what I wanted to hear. Because I want to hear the comments.
Even though it's amazing.
Exactly.
But what's the purpose of doing that to yourself?
But I wanted to hear the comments from all of you as well. So I'm asking you. And I love that he's being vulnerable about this. I am. I'm trying it.
Get something out.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it out. So what was the purpose of breaking up in the first place if you went back with this person? If you thought they were worthy enough to have sex with them or have some sort of encounter, which included sex with an ex, what was the purpose of breaking up in the first place? You have to know.
You tell me. Why you break up and then you get single and then still...
I'm asking you first. I'm going to explain mine. I know mine, but...
Oh. Yeah.
But...
Because it's games.
No.
All of this is games. This is games.
Okay, so I'm going to answer. I'm going to be vulnerable and answer mine first. And you got to be vulnerable. Wait, okay.
No, it's games.
Yours was game. It's all about the game.
It's not just my game. I feel like it becomes this kind of game, right? You're playing this field, right? Tit for tat, back and forth. There is so much ego, pride, dominance.
I'm so glad you said that.
Of those things,
So is it the ego that you
boredom, have? Restriction, those things. Yeah.
So do you think a lot has to
get a part two?
I really am.
She want an extended.
I want an extended. We're gonna edit some of that and put it in. So you think I'm asking you from a guy perspective. You being a guy from a guy perspective, do you think having sex with the ex has a lot to do with ego that you can actually get them back if you wanted to? And it's the chase.
I feel like that's men and women in general though. But I feel like as men, of course, your ego go. If you are able to smash, your ego is gonna feel good, and then you're gonna, it's gonna be. Yes, it changes your mindset, right? But you know what I mean. So you got to decline. That's vulnerable too. So I'm good. Damn. What the fuck happened? I matured, or I know this road with you. And if I want to continue to go down this, it just feels toxic because it's the same shit.
So you brought up decline. So if the ex that you're trying to get back with decline you, how do you handle that? If you're doing the chase of the ego, I know I can get them back. But what if they
still want to chase? You still may want to chase. You may do it in a flirtatious way. You may do it
They still chase even though they got declined.
I mean,
I do.
Do you not get advances?
I do.
Like you said.
I do get advances all the time,
but I feel like it's different for women and men as far as, and I will say, men in general have a different way of dealing with the.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to get that out of you.
The letdown of it, right? Because you wanna still have that connection, or you might do it in a crazy way, and that's what makes it toxic.
Yeah.
I like, I had somebody reach out to me, and you ain't, or
Say it.
certain friends,
Say it.
this happened to them too.
Uh-huh.
Any means to reach out to you. You know how you try to cash app somebody, and then
exactly.
You ain't send me the cash app. You just send me the text.
But I've had that. I've had
send me the cash app. I might
smash. So since you're being honest, I'm going to be honest and very vulnerable of why. No, so wait a minute.
That's my pronoun. Y'all
right. So I was gonna say, does that make you be? I'm gonna get on me, people. I am gonna be vulnerable. So does that make you want to be even more of a slut, motivating to the fact that you can get them, and do you want to get back with them to slut them out?
I think having sex with exes is slutty.
You think it makes you want to slut them out
because you know where you're like, and even you. Yes,
you want to slut them out.
Because you've already slutted each other out. That's not. It's not unfamiliar.
Okay.
So, yeah, you slutted each other out. It's not a. It's already done.
It's done.
So in your mind, you can have the flashbacks. You can have I know how this is going to go, or they could do this, that, or the third, and it's familiar. So it becomes this game or this rush.
I was gonna say
thing, and it does.
So it's the game. It's the game. Make it sexy and fun.
But it's not the game the same when dating. It's not the game the same when breaking up. It's not the game the same. I just feel like sex with the ex is more. It's not taboo because we all have done it, but I feel like it creates a kind of negative kind of oversight, right? And that's the touchy part because
why?
Because it creates a negative oversight because you still aren't in that person's mindset position. That's why we want to know, like, why would you do it?
Yeah.
But then sometimes you don't know. You just do it because of that familiarity, right?
You're setting yourself up for having unanswered questions because when you start hooking up, no one is talking about, is this a thing again or not? And you're just doing it. And then some way down the line, someone always end up getting hurt if that conversation is not have. Am I correct?
Yeah, you got hurt in the beginning.
Right. That's why I said, why would you go back? So for me as a woman, my perspective
is... But you might like the hurt just based on, like, I feel like hurt is also an emotional pain that you may be drawn to say, well, I'd rather get hurt than not get anything.
And that's so unhealthy. Ooh, talk about that's so toxic. And there's so many people out here. They want to feel something.
I feel like that's what I meant by it was more vulnerable and touchy.
Vulnerable, okay.
Most people, and then that creates this, kind of
euphoric.
You have to unpack. You have to unpack now the emotion of I got this now. But now it becomes like a little too, weird or overpowering, or you can use somebody based on and if I'm gonna do sex with an ex, I want to do it in a fun way, and not I'm saying topic wise, but in a all right. If I'm single, we just fucking, but we're gonna have fun. But if it's one of those situations where it's like, this person has been avoidant of you, or like
trying to stay clear of you,
they block you, or you got a restraining order or some shit.
Like,
and I don't mean like that, but you know what I mean. Like, it becomes this thing. It's like some people use it as a
euphoric feeling.
Yeah, like
they do.
I'll take the hurt over, not hearing from you.
Yeah, and
it's like that crazy show, You.
Yeah.
Off Netflix.
Yeah, and I was gonna say that, crazy. Like, you brought up a topic that I think most people can actually relate to, even if it's not them. Like, you've seen friends, or if some of us was that person that actually we don't feel anything from other people, and you know you feel something from this ex.
I think that's what
I think what means it makes them go back to it because they're searching for a feeling that they're not getting, and some people feel so empty that this ex come along and it gives them this feeling that they're not getting from anywhere else. That's my only way to describe why a person will.
You still want companionship in some form.
Right? Exactly.
You may not get it.
Loneliness, but again,
but that drives you to other, I would say, negative outlets when it comes to that. That's why
it's not healthy.
I felt like it was, a little more touchy because it's one of those mental.
I was trying to get this out of him because it is very touchy, but
it's one of those mental things when it comes to seeing how it has hurt other people close to you.
Yeah.
And that you're like, oh gosh, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the crazy side of sex with ex, or the downside, or the real it's a very vulnerable and unhealthy. I don't like to be dark, but I know
we got to be real.
Yeah, we have to be real.
We got to be real.
Our darknesses.
Yeah.
Because, we all have skeletons. And to be honest, I feel like those are some, like, borderlines.
No, they're not borderline. No. They're very.
No, I'm saying they're, like, borderline, even more past toxic.
Oh, so that's it's chaotic at this point. It's destruction. It's dangerous, and it's like what do you say? Devastation.
World domination.
Destruction.
I've seen it lead to like domestic violence and all kinds of stuff. That's why I didn't really want to like go there because I knew we were going to kind of get into another topic.
But we need to. We needed to because I think it's very important.
If it gets like that, you definitely need to.
You need to talk to someone. I think because that's why I was trying to get out of you because I know you study human behavior. We talked about this offline. That's why I wanted to edit this because I know I talked to him about this before. The reason why a lot of people go back, not everyone, but a lot of people go back, studies have shown, is because they are numb. They're not feeling what they want to feel from other people, and somehow this ex, and it may be toxic, gives them a feeling. We're not saying it's healthy, but it gives them a feeling that they can't get from anywhere else. On the negative side.
Now on the orgasmic side.
But also, some people get very orgasmic to that toxic. It's a weird thing, and they get so blinded because it's so orgasmic to them that they keep forgetting all the negative things that come along with their relationship. And that's why people have sex with an ex. So... yeah.
Some people.
A lot of people.
Just not us. Right?
Yes. Yeah. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode. And
yes. It's one of those topics that I think really kind of you see it kind of mess with other relationships and dynamics.
But even yourself.
I feel like you need to kind of bring awareness to like we know people have sex with their exes and stuff like that, but
gotta be careful. I think you have to be careful if you're searching for a feeling and you know that it's unhealthy. Maybe it's time to talk to someone about why you shouldn't have sex with that ex, because you're going down a path that you know the ending. It's like knowing the ending of the story. Like you got a book, you flip back to the back of the page, you know the ending of the story.
Or, okay, now she wanted to go there and talk about it.
I do.
Or y'all have an agreement. Because now, what if your sex with your ex becomes your buddy? We ain't talk about that. There are layers to sex with exes that I feel like now we're bringing to the table because she wanted
this topic, have it from a man's perspective.
It's good, but it's just one of those like, damn, there's so many layers to this.
It is,
especially from like a mental perspective.
Yeah,
and like looking at how people kind of operate, move, and things like that. But what if it's just like now it becomes an agreement?
See, that's the only reason. That's the only way I would see it's different. If it's an
Okay,
agreement that you're
you're
both,
my ex.
yeah.
Now you what if you're that's another topic. Not it's the same topic. What if your ex becomes your fuck buddy? Like, okay,
Yeah.
I can deal with this back and forth because I'm familiar with it too. You know what I mean? But
I can see that.
you get yours, I get mine.
Yeah.
I get mine, you get yours, vice versa. But
I can see that
now
being
does that
healthy.
now does that rekindle why people that do like 24 to 30% go back and start over and become
I
healthier?
I was just gonna say, yeah. So I saw in my friends group over the years, the only time having a fuck buddy side piece work if you're both in agreement, you both don't want a relationship at all. I mean, both have to be on the same frequency that you don't want a relationship, but you're familiar with this person. This person is familiar with your body, especially me as a woman. Like I've had those type of relationships in the
Yeah.
past when I was single, and I can't just hook up with a random person. I got to have some type of emotional connection, but I knew I did not want a relationship, but this person was available for me when I needed what I needed from them. And they didn't want a relationship, and neither did I.
Yeah.
And that was the most healthy, I say, hookup ever, because there was no toxic, like, oh, we don't want to, it wasn't no bad blood. It was just that we both knew we didn't want a relationship at that point, and we wanted to be single. We broke up, and we realized we still like each other's company. We just don't want to be tied down to one another because we're at a different place in our life. Our careers, my career was taking off. I was young. I was traveling. Their career was taking off. We didn't want to be tied down because relationships is a lot of energy
It is.
at times. And to me, that was the only instance that I saw that it was healthy.
But fuck buddies start with either fuck buddies or having sex with your ex.
That's why I said the only time it was healthy for me, and
Or
versus other people that I've seen that
leading to that.
yeah, if they were dating their ex and they randomly hooked up, but it was some toxic reason why they broke up, then it's not healthy because they're gonna keep having these toxic traits. How many friends you've seen arguing with their ex that they're hooking up with, versus all y'all doing is hanging out, kicking it, hooking up, and it's no argument because there's no attachment. There's more
There's no
so
animosity. There's
right.
no.
It's a friendship on I got
It's very
you.
cordial.
It's very cordial.
And I think that's another thing. If you do have cordiality with your ex,
Yeah.
that you can have sex with, whereas you have others who don't have cordiality with their exes and can't have sex with.
And they cannot, because it ends up
So
too many feelings. They're arguing, they're fighting again, and it's like, if that's happening, you should not have sex with that ex. It should only be at a place. This is just my opinion. Take it from a grain of salt. What I've seen over the years, being an adult, I've seen it from other people, relationships too. The only way that hookup works, if you both just at a point that you don't want a relationship, but you want someone who's familiar with your body, that you trust, and just a friend to talk to, but you don't want any commitment. And both parties have to 100% be truthful to know they want that.
Yep.
And if it's not that way, I see it go downhill, back and forth, and it creates a very unhealthy environment. And it's mentally draining and emotionally draining.
It is. And also devil's advocate, if you do that in a healthy way, and one person wants now to become more committed to something else, what is that? Is it just committed to the sex or committed to?
No, it's never committed to the sex. I think as a woman, if
like
I've had an instance where one of my persons I was hooking up with, they wanted a more commitment after, and I knew in my heart I didn't want that at the time. I had to cut it off, And I feel like that's a conversation you have to have.
And that's the vulnerable piece I'm trying to get out of her.
Yeah.
Trying to get out of me.
Yeah.
And it's like,
you have to have that conversation. You have to be honest, ladies, as well as men, because a lot of men do not. More of us women, we do. You have to be honest. If you having that healthy hookup with that person, and you guys know you don't want anything
more
tied down, but one person at a certain point. Because if you doing it for a couple of years, 9 times out of 10, the older you get, someone may want to have something more stable. You need to have that honest conversation, first of all, with yourself, and then that conversation with the ex. And you have to be mature enough to walk away, to keep that person. If you really love them as your friend and you're hooking up cordially, you have to respect if they say they still just want to hook up.
And that's it. That's
and
what it is.
It should be, you know what, we got to end this now while it's still healthy, and let's just be friends. And don't allow that person has to respect your boundaries. They can't call you at 12 o'clock. Those calls.
Booty call
what are you doing? Sliding your DM because you're posting something sexy.
That's true.
It's facts. They really need to respect your boundaries. And if you had that, I would say, very adult chemistry and relationship with that person, they would. And you will actually respect your own boundaries by not allowing them to cross it, if you really want that friendship with that person, because you now realize you can't just have sex with that person. And it happens sometimes, but then I see a lot of times it don't happen, where they just keep hooking up. And some people be in relationships and have some FB on the side.
Yeah.
And how is that? I wanted to ask you. You had friends who I've heard you say were in a relationship but had fuck buddies on the side, and that's all they are. But they're in a full relationship, but yet they still have a fuck buddy. How does that work?
Communication.
With the fuck buddy?
No, with the relationship.
No, what if the relationship doesn't know? What if the other party doesn't know? We all know. Everyone's listening to us now. We all know. We know those people. Again, it's no judgment. I'm not judging anyone. Get down how you live, honey. If that's what makes if that's
do your big one.
Do your big one. If that's what makes you happy, I say do it. But I'm saying it's too much energy for me. But I'm saying for the people that like I've had a friend who, had a fuck buddy and a man too. But you do too. So as a man, from your perspective, like, what can you say to the audience? Like, how does that affect the person relationship?
I think it affects them based on the energy. I'll say that.
Do you think eventually that relationship will crumble? Or they would choose the ex? Because eventually one of the two is going to happen. Don't you think?
Yeah, I think it'll crumble based on, that means now you've, like, who are you committed to? Mm-hmm. Let's be real. Are you committed to just the amazing sex, or are you committed to the partner you're with? And if the partner doesn't know, then at the same time, like, you still just doing it. You know what I mean? And when it happens to come to light, then the next thing is dealing with that.
Dealing with that.
I
want to know from all of you out there too, like, do you know people who's doing it, or are you yourself? Are you the ex that's having sex with someone in a relationship, or are you the person who's having sex with your ex while you're in the relationship? And what drives you to do that? What makes you not
Move Monday Radio? Because these are questions. It's giving. Call in.
Call me
now.
Call me now. I want to know, how rubbish are you? Because it's a real thing, especially if you're not in a polygamy relationship. Why don't you just cut off that relationship with that person you're with and just end up with the ex?
I don't know. Men and women, a little different wires. I feel like possession is prevalent in both And I feel like if you feel more possessive about who you've been with and all of that, that shows up.
And that's probably the reason why they won't let that person go, you think? Maybe. Even though they're dipping on the side constantly?
Maybe.
Something to think about, folks.
It might be, but it might.
But yeah, either way, but like we said, even when you're single, having sex with an ex when you're single, I just feel like those of you out there listening, it's different, and you should only do it if it's in those
healthy boundaries.
Do what you want, but for your mental health, I would say just make sure that you both want the same things. If you both don't want relationships, that's healthy great. Boundaries. But if you know deep in your heart that you want something more with that person, you got to be honest with yourself. And then honest with that person, and vice versa. And no shade to the men out there. Women, we're more honest when it comes to that than men.
They not. They're fucking loud.
Yes, we are.
No.
We will be more honest. No, I really think we will be more honest of if we want something more, we will express it more versus the guy.
Honesty and emotional is not the same. You will be more emotional about how you feel, but you may not be honest about what you want, and that's the truth.
Well, we're gonna beg to differ that,
we could get into that topic later.
Yeah. Because I do think more women will be honest about it than men. I think more men will string their exes along than women.
You don't think women stringing their exes along for certain resources?
Some women do, but I'm saying it.
I feel like this is
it's a battle of the war, but hey, I do think that statistics shows that more men cheat than women. So I think more men.
No, more men get caught than women. Women and men cheat the same.
I don't think so. I'm
saying that because she's gonna go with team woman. I'm not going with team man or woman. What I'm saying from what I have experienced and seen, some women will not get caught even though they are cheating. Men get caught because we're dumb.
Don't believe the lies. Well, that's true. Nope. Say it again. Men are what?
Men get caught because you're dumb when you're cheating.
That's 100% facts. Now we'll agree with
that. Women don't get caught, but they won't let you know they were cheating.
Women are more smart.
You find out.
But I do think more men cheat than women. So I do think that the exes would. I do think that. No, I'm just saying. I do think more men will lie to their ex.
Men don't lie to their ex.
They're gonna lie here. I'm saying they will. They will do more.
They go lie to their ex.
I'm saying they will lie to their ex if the ex wants more, just to keep having sex with them to lead them on.
Men go do that with whoever they with.
But that's what my point was.
But you saying they go.
What I was saying is women would be more honest with their feelings of if they wanted more or not than men if it's a hookup and they want more. And you were saying that that's not true. I debunked that. I say I think women will be more honest if they catching more feelings and they want to be back with the ex if they're just hooking up and they want more versus men. And if I've seen it. Women will come and express themselves to certain men, and men will tell a woman what she wants to hear just to keep sleeping with her.
But what if women doing the same thing? They just don't call it that.
Whatever. Anyway, thank y'all for
No. Let's get into it. No, I just want to say.
But statistics shows that you guys do it more. Am I right? No, be honest with that. I've been honest with the other thing. Be honest. Statistics show.
Pull up the statistics.
Show.
Research. This is what I want to say.
It shows that you guys
do what more?
What we just said. I almost lost my train.
What we say? What we say? That men are going to say whatever they want
to keep getting the sex. Yes.
But women are not going to do the same thing?
No, because it's easier for us. Men are easy. Men are so easy. Y'all are so easy. We don't have to lie. Men are so easy.
That's what I mean. Yep. Meaning you don't have to admit that you're doing the same thing. Come back to me Monday.
See you guys later. Check us out next week on Monday.